लग रहा है, पता नहीं क्यों। क्या हुआ, ब्रेकफास्ट अच्छा नहीं मिला या जल्दी कॉलेज आने के लिए बोला है टीचर्स ने? जल्दी कॉलेज आने के लिए बोला है, कोई बात नहीं, टीचर्स हैं यहाँ पे हमारे साथ, टीचर्स भी हैं और स्टूडेंट्स भी हैं। और एक काफ़ी ज़्यादा फेमस कोट है, द बेस्ट टाइम टू प्लांट अ ट्री वॉज 20 years ago एंड द सेकेंड बेस्ट टाइम इज़ नाउ। ये टोटली रिलेट होता है जो अभी हमने सीखा कि आपको क्यों जो इन्वेस्टमेंट है वो अपने अर्ली स्टेजेस में स्टार्ट कर देनी चाहिए। अब आपके भी यहाँ पे काफ़ी सारे क्वेश्चंस होंगे कि मेरे पास तो पैसे ही नहीं है, इन्वेस्टमेंट कहाँ से करूँ, SIP के लिए क्या मैं पॉकेट मनी लूँ, किस तरीके से बैलेंस करूँ, अभी नया iPhone 17 लूँ या मैं किसी म्यूचुअल फंड में इन्वेस्ट करूँ, काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें हैं, किस तरीके से बैलेंस किया जाए, इन सभी चीज़ों के अब हम आंसर करने वाले हैं। और इस सेशन में वंस अगेन मैं सिद्धार्थ को स्टेज पे बुलाना चाहूँगी और साथ ही साथ हमारे साथ जुड़े हैं यहाँ पे UTI म्यूचुअल फंड से नितिन जी प्लीज़ कम ऑन स्टेज। और जो भी आपका क्वेश्चन है वो आप यहाँ पे पूछ सकते हैं, लेकिन सवाल आपकी पर्सनल लाइफ से नहीं, आपकी फिनेंशियल लाइफ से रिलेटेड होना चाहिए। प्लीज़ पुट योर हैंड्स टुगेदर एंड आपके जो भी सवाल है आप इन दोनों हस्तियों से पूछ सकते हैं। सिद्धार्थ, कल जैसे आपने प्रेजेंटेशन दी, आज प्रेजेंटेशन दी, काफ़ी सपने मेरे बढ़ते जा रहे हैं, वो जो अमाउंट है उसको ग्रैब करने के लिए कि हाँ, और आई होप कि काफ़ी सारे स्टूडेंट्स के काफ़ी सारे क्वेश्चंस यहाँ पे होंगे कि किस तरीके से जो अभी हमने केवल प्रेजेंटेशन में देखा है उसको एक रियलिस्टिक हम वे दे सके, किस तरीके से ये सारी की सारी चीज़ें हो सकती है। तो काफ़ी सारे स्टूडेंट्स के क्वेश्चंस मेरे पास ऑलरेडी आ गए हैं, एक बार मैं वो निकाल लेती हूँ और इसके अलावा जो जितने भी स्टूडेंट्स हैं वो भी अपने सवाल पूछ सकते हैं। सबसे पहले Ahana, do we have Ahana? Yeah.
Good afternoon. So, as a first-time investor, like who's very new to all these concepts, so what would you say is a practical way to shortlist your funds, like without getting overwhelmed and confused?
Okay, so good, interesting question, because I think that pertains to all the entire audience. All of you would be first-time investors. The first and foremost thing that one needs to look at is set a goal, okay? What are your goals? Investment goals are very important, because once you have a goal, then you will have a step-by-step approach as to how to achieve that goal. Now, in investments, what we try to break up these goals are into short, medium, and long term, right? Now, depending on the tenure of the goal, let's say you want to, let's say a short-term goal of you want to buy a device, okay? You want to buy a high-end device in the next 12 months. You may want to buy a car over the next 5 years. You may want to buy a house over the next 10 years, right? So these are examples of short, medium, and long-term goals. Once you have these goals in place, you will very easily identify the products that fit into these goals, right? Because each of the products that mutual funds or other asset classes have, there are various parameters with respect to risk, with respect to returns that one needs to keep in mind while looking at the investment. So these goals are very important. First step is to identify goals. That brings in a degree of discipline as well. Because once you have identified a goal, you will work towards that goal, right? So that will give in the discipline. So I think what is important, identify your goal. Your products will be clear once you identify a goal, and then ensure that you are investing in a disciplined manner.
And just to add, so there are many products available in the market. Some are simpler products, some are complex products. So as a beginner, it's easy to start with a simpler product. So yeah, that's the right way to start.
Well, आगे बढ़ते हैं and Mahesh Babu. Do we have Mahesh Babu over here? Yeah.
So my question is that how can a first-time investor avoid common mistake of chasing short-term firms?
Short-term?
Funds.
Short-term funds?
Yeah. While choosing the fund, sorry.
So you mean to say funds with high returns in the short term?
How can a first-time investor avoid a common mistake of chasing short-term returns while choosing funds?
So I think the best metric to look at is the chart we had shown in the presentation. 45 years, the market has given 15% CAGR in terms of returns. Last 3 years was an exceptional period where you saw 30%, 40% returns in a year. But over long term, this is the return which market has given. So you should keep that in mind. Things, basically, it comes to, it averages out over a period.
Yeah, and so, fundamentally, just take out the notion of short-term returns, right? Don't chase short-term returns, right? Because that entails a very high degree of risk, which only professionals are advised to take. When we are looking at basic investing, we are looking as, investors to generate long-term corpus. Please avoid the concept of making money in a very short term, right? Because there will be a lot of enticements that you will get, and it's very easy to fall into those gaps.
और rich बनना आसान होता है, लेकिन wealthy बनना, it takes a lot of time. Yes. Moving forward, do we have Avishkar?
So good afternoon, sir. Seeing the latest trends of AI as well in the rapid growth of finance and other markets, I would like to ask that do you see AI and other robo-advisors replacing the human fund advisors who are currently working?
So this answer will be biased because this is directly hitting me. So we also trying to find use cases where we can leverage technology, AI, different models, but that is more as a tool to help us do our work more productively. See, it can analyze data, it can give you, based on past trends, some recommendations. But there are many things which come with experience, which are more emotional, which are more quality, things which come with experience, right? You have seen those companies for many years, you have seen a market over many years, and you have to make a decision at that point of time. So just the past data won't help you. These AI models work on past data, what you feed them. So what input goes in, the outcome comes out. So the experience layer or the experience quality or the subjective inputs which go into it, those are the things which can come from human. So maybe AI can be a good tool to assist us, but at this point of time, we don't think that it can replace us.
Yeah, and I'd like to add something here. You can sit down. So, touch and feel is extremely critical. Now, just to give you an example, had this been an online session, I don't think the touch and feel that we are able to give right now, the connect that we are having right now, it was possible. And, if you look at a doctor, right? Now, supposing there's a patient, you have these reports of a patient, the blood reports come in, right? And nowadays what we do, we send it on WhatsApp to a doctor and the doctor says, okay, fine, and take these medications. But in reality, a patient's age, gender, whether from northern part of the country, Punjab, or from Tamil Nadu, weight, height, all that matters. So a touch and feel of a patient is very critical to ensure that you have the absolutely right medication prescribed. So while these are tools to enhance productivity, analyze data, and we are having products coming into the markets which are using a lot of data, right? But the final, experience of a fund manager, knowing the nuances of the markets is very critical when we develop a product.
आविष्कार, AI से रिलेटेड हमारे इस पूरे लाइनअप में एक सेशन भी है जहाँ पे बून और बेन आपको बताए जाएंगे. सो प्लीज सिट टाइट एंड उसके ऊपर भी आप उस टाइम पे सवाल कर सकते हैं. मूविंग फॉरवर्ड, उदय, डू वी हैव उदय? या.
As in India or around the world, the cyber security threats are increasing, and we can see many literate people also falling for these cyber security threats. How safe is for us young investors to invest in these online digital platforms?
So all this online first companies, they have a decent cybersecurity framework. So they use many third-party software to protect the data of the users. but nothing is 100% foolproof. So even large companies, you can see closer home, JLR had one issue, Walmart had some issues. So companies have seen issues in the past, the best of the companies. So nothing can be foolproof in this digital world. But most of these companies are using third-party, best of the class softwares to protect the data.
Okay, let me ask a counter question to the entire audience. All of you have mobiles? All of you are on Instagram, Facebook, right? How many of you are online right now, logged into Instagram, Facebook, mails? You've not logged out. All of you are logged in? All of you would be logged in. Have you ever logged out, taken the precaution to ensure once you are online on any platform, after that you log out from all devices? All of you would be logged in, right? And so cyber security, a lot of it is dependent on us. We need to take the precautions. We need to ensure that we log out. That's the number one security that all of us need to have as a discipline. So while platforms are there, they may, they will protect you to a large extent, but it is also our responsibility to ensure that we are taking precautions. We cannot be careless. It's not left on the, platforms.
That's why precaution is always better than cure. Next, do we have Sahana?
So good afternoon. My question to you is, how can gamification and app-based learning be used to make financial literacy more appealing to Gen Z?
Okay, so good. I mean, it's a good question, but so if you look at rewards mechanisms, gamification, financial literacy, you can. But I think that is predominantly why one of these sessions are conducted in universities and colleges. I think it is the financial literacy for sure has to be very, very is a very important topic and has to be percolated to everybody who's getting into the workforce. Now, how much would gamification help? Definitely it would help if we have reward points, maybe in your curriculum, in your KRS, because when we work, we have something called KRS, right? And whenever we have KRS, we work doubly better for it, right? So yes, it can help, definitely can help, but it is up to the universities, colleges, because financial literacy has to start at the education level, right? And I think this is where, maybe courses can be incorporated. You may get additional points for your, scores for attending financial literacy classes, because these are life skills and are very important.
Well, काफ़ी सारे क्वेश्चंस जो हैं वो हमें वर्चुअली भी आए हैं. नितिन, वन क्वेश्चन फॉर यू, जो काफ़ी सारे स्टूडेंट्स का मैं देख रही हूँ कि आ रहा है. फॉर एग्जांपल कि माय मंथली सैलरी इज़ अराउंड 30,000, जिसमें से मुझे 20,000 तो महीने का भाड़ा देना है. मुंबई में अगर मुझे रहना है, दिल्ली में या बैंगलोर में मुझे रहना है, और 10,000 रुपये में से 5,000 रुपये मेरे बच्चों की स्कूल फीस जाती है और 5,000 का राशन भराना है. वहाँ पे सेविंग कैसे करें?
Difficult question, but so there's a concept called delayed gratification. So although some expenses are very necessary, which you have to incur, in this example, there is no scope because 30,000, 20,000 and 5,000, remaining 5,000 also goes for grocery. But I'll take more practical example where let's say someone is earning 40,000 and 30,000 goes into all the expenses and 10,000 remains where the person has an option to either spend it for some new clothes or some appliance, or save it and maybe buy that clothes a year later or 2 years later. So that's the delayed gratification where you're delaying your desires, not the necessities. So I think that's the way you can delay some of your desires and start saving at the early stage.
You want to add something?
Yeah, so I think very pertinent question. I think when we start off, it is very difficult to save money. But that is where discipline and, as what Nitin said, ensuring that you do not look at instant gratification comes in, right? Money is hard earned. One needs to realize that. One needs to respect money. कहते हैं, सरस्वती की respect करोगे तो लक्ष्मी की respect करोगे तो you will get Lakshmi. You should be prudent in your decisions to look at spendings And I'm sure you will find a way out to save and invest for sure. There's no doubt about it. There are ways and means to invest as well.
Right. और इसी के साथ ये एग्जाम्पल मैंने कल भी दिया था कि नीड और वांट का, कि अभी आप जो फ़ोन चला रहे हो दैट मे बी आईफोन 6, 7, 8 और 9, बट वो आपकी नीड है फ़ोन चलाना फॉर डेली डे टू डे यूज़, बट आईफोन 17 प्रो लेना इज़ योर वांट. तो नीड और वांट में आपको एक डिफरेंस जब समझ में आ जाएगा तो आपकी जो इन्वेस्टमेंट साइकिल है वो आपकी अच्छी हो जाएगी. थैंक यू सो मच नितिन, थैंक यू सो मच सिद्धार्थ, ये सारी जानकारी देने के लिए. एंड प्लीज़ thank him with big round of applause.